Okay, so let's have a little look at a few more difficult questions, and these would be a bit more typical of exam style questions. So for what value of k does the following equation have equal roots? The equation looks a little bit unusual, kind of quadratic, but a bit weird at the end. And then it says for what values of k? I don't know what's going on with k, but I do see the key words equal roots. Well, straight away, I'm going to write b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0 because I have that memorized. And I'm just going to write it down, and then we'll figure the rest out as we go along. I'm now going to get those discriminant steps that we just did. I'm going to get those kicking in. I'll label this up, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now the a is 1, that's straightforward enough. The b is the coefficient of x, or the number or the bit in front of x. In this case, that's 2k. C then looks a little bit messy, but let's just stick with the process and it'll be okay. So now I'm going to sub into the discriminant. B squared is 2k all squared. Be careful if you don't put in the bracket there, it will only be the k that's squared, and that's incorrect. The 2 is squared as well, so make sure you put that on the bracket. Minus 4 times a times c. And I won't put an equals at the start because there's an equal to 0 here. So now I'm just going to let my kind of algebraic instinct kick in and just do some stuff and see what happens. So 2k squared is 4k squared minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 5k minus 4. There's a bracket to expand, so I should probably expand that bracket. Minus 20k plus 16. Now it's looking a lot more familiar to me. What I've now got here is a trinomial, and I know how to factorize trinomials. Now, one thing I'm noticing here, if you didn't notice it, it would be okay, but all of the coefficients are multiples of 4. So I'm going to divide across by 4, which is going to make my working a bit easier. But if you didn't spot that and you went ahead and solved that trinomial, it would still be okay. So it would just be a little bit extra work at the end. K squared divide by 4 is equal to 0. Now, I'm not going to go through all the steps for solving a 3-term quadratic. You can go back to Algebra 1 to learn how to do that. K and K, 4 and 1, and I believe it's minus 4 minus 1. So K is equal to 4, or K is equal to 1. Let's reread the question, make sure we've answered what we were asked. For what values, plural, of K does the equation have equal roots? We took the equation to have equal roots when we let the discriminant equal to 0. We did some stuff and we've come up with 2 values of K. That's us done. Write down that worked example, write in any annotations you need to, and have a go at the question on the right. Okay, if you've got this far, you've got most of the marks in an exam question. We're asked to prove that it has real roots. So we're being asked to prove that the discriminant is greater than 0. So in order to get this far, you should have just been able to follow the steps through and do what you normally do. But now this last bit, prove that it has real roots. So we're trying to prove that the discriminant is positive. Now, what we can do here is we can say that since k squared is positive for all values of k, because you think of any number, positive, negative, fraction, decimal, it doesn't matter, and square it, you're going to get a positive number. And you take a positive number and you multiply it by 5, which is another positive number, you're going to get a positive number. And that's it proven. Since k squared is greater than 0 for all values of k, then 5k squared is also greater than 0. That's it done. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson.